Good afternoon students, welcome to Tungal online classes. So last class we completed the conditional probability. So in this session we are going to discuss multiplication theorem on probability. Okay. So this is the extension for conditional probability. So let us see what we are going to study in this multiplication theorem on probability. Suppose there are two events associated with the sample space of a random experiment. Let A and B be two events associated with sample space S of a random experiment. Right. So there are two events A and B associated with the sample space S of any random experiment given. Okay. So here what we are interested is, we will be interested in finding the occurrence of both the events A and B. Okay. Sometimes we will be interested in finding the probability of occurrence of both the events A and B. So what is the occurrence of both the events A and B means? It is A intersection B. Okay. What is A intersection B denotes? This denotes occurrence of both A and B. Okay. A intersection B denotes the occurrence of both the events A and B, or it is simultaneous occurrence of A and B. A intersection B denotes occurrence of both the events A and B, or simultaneous occurrence of the events A and B. So this is the occurrence of both the events A and B. Now we are finding the probability of this event. Okay. So what is the probability of occurrence of the events A and B? This is what we are going to study in multiplication theorem. Okay. So multiplication theorem, it is used for finding the probability of occurrence of both the events A and B, or simultaneous occurrence of events A and B. So this is what we are going to study here. Now how do we find P of A intersection B here? Now this will be found by using the previous topic we studied, that is conditional probability. Okay. So here from conditional probability, what we studied is the probability of occurrence of B given A. How we are writing? P of B given A, it is written as probability of B intersection A divided by probability of A. So from this, how can I write P of B given A? P of B intersection A can be written as multiplied P of A into P of B given A. Rearranging, I am multiplying P of A to the left hand side here. So P of A into P of B given A, it is P of B intersection A. Now B intersection A or A intersection B both are same only. So probability of the event A intersection B can be written as probability of A into probability of B given A. Okay. So what is the meaning of this? Probability of A intersection B we are writing as probability of A into probability of B given A. This is what multiplication theorem on probability, which is derived by using the conditional probability we studied in the previous classes. Okay. So what is the meaning of P of A intersection B? This already we know. The probability of occurrence of both the events A and B, it is written as probability of occurrence of event A into probability of occurrence of event B given that A has already occurred. So basically we are studying the probability of occurrence of two events A and B. So how we are writing that? We are writing probability of one event, that is first A. Now knowing that event A has already occurred, okay, we are finding the probability of B by knowing that event A has already happened, okay. So this is how we can find the probability of occurrence of both the events A and B, okay. So we find the probability of one event into the probability of other event by knowing that one event is already occurred. And this is one way of writing. Also we can write here I am taken probability of B given A. If I take A given B, what is the probability of A given B? We know it is probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B. So from this, how can I write probability of A intersection B as, again rearranging, it is the probability of B into probability of A given B. Now this is also the multiplication theorem, okay. Simultaneous occurrence of both the events A and B, it is written as probability of B into probability of A given that B has already occurred, okay. So we can take in any way, okay. Here I am taking first A is happening, then probability of occurrence of B knowing that A is happened already, or probability of occurrence of B, then probability of occurrence of A knowing that B has already occurred, okay. So any one of this can be used because both are same only. So we are finding the probability of occurrence of two events, okay. So how do you find the probability of occurrence of both the events? First we write probability of occurrence of one event, then probability of occurrence of another event. It is not directly only that one event, knowing that first event has already occurred. So this is what we are writing, conditional probability. Knowing that A has happened, what is the probability of B here, okay. So this is a multiplication theorem, understand. So probability of A intersection B can be written as P of A into P of B given A, or P of B into P of A given B. Let us go through some examples so that we can understand how we are using this multiplication theorem on probability, okay. Let us see one example based on this. A bag contains 4 red and 6 black balls. A bag contains 4 red and 6 black balls. Two balls are drawn one after the other without a replacement from the bag. Two balls are drawn one after the other without replacement from the bag. Find the probability that both are black balls. Find the probability that both the balls we are drawing are black balls, okay. So this is the probability we have to find here, okay. So observe here, there is a bag containing 4 red and 6 black balls. Now from that bag we are drawing 2 balls. Now how we are drawing the balls, it is very important. Okay, so here the balls are drawn one after the other and without replacement. So this is very important. When it is without replacement, with replacement, the method of solving will be different. So we will get different answers when the terms are changed. Okay, so without replacement, so first we are taking one ball. Okay, next without replacing, we are taking another ball from the bag. Now we are drawing two balls. We are finding the probability that both are black balls, means first one should be a black ball and second one should be a black ball. Okay, so here we are finding the occurrence of two events. What are the two events? First one is drawing a black ball from the bag. Another event, again drawing a black ball from the bag. Okay, so here we are taking two events and we are finding the occurrence of both the events. So which theorem we have to apply here? We have to apply multiplication principle of, okay, multiplication theorem on probability. So that is what you have to apply here. So there is a difference between conditional probability and multiplication theorem. So what is the difference between conditional probability and multiplication theorem? Conditional probability, this is we are finding the probability of one event knowing that another event is already occurred. Okay, when it is given that one event is already occurred, we are finding the probability of another event. So that is where we use conditional probability, whereas multiplication theorem, it is used for finding the probability of simultaneous occurrence of two events. Okay, that is the occurrence of both the events A and B, or occurrence of both the events E and F, like this. Okay, so that is the difference between conditional probability and multiplication theorem. We are finding the occurrence of both events. Here we are finding occurrence of one event knowing that another event has already occurred. Okay, so clearly you have to understand the difference between these two. So here we have to apply multiplication theorem. So first let us define the two events. What is the experiment here? Experiment is drawing two balls one after the other from a bag. Okay, experiment is drawing two balls one after the other from a bag without replacement. Suppose this is a bag which contains 4 red and 6 black balls. If it is with replacement, what will be the answer? That we will see in the next session. Okay, so in this session we are going to study without a replacement, then we will study with replacement, then we can understand the difference between the two, right? So this is a bag containing this two type of balls. Now we have to define two events. Suppose E is the event. Okay, E is the event. We are interested in getting both are black balls. So first we will consider one event where the first ball drawn is black. So E is the event getting a black ball in first draw. Getting a black ball in the first draw. And F is the event getting a black ball in second draw. So first draw black ball, second draw also black ball, then only we will get both are black balls. So these are the events E and F. Now what we require? We require probability of both are black balls. First event should occur and also the second event should occur. So we have to find the probability of E intersection F. This is what we require. Now from multiplication theorem, how can you write P of E intersection F? So what we do is, we'll find the probability of first event, then we'll find the probability of second event, knowing that first event has already occurred. Okay, so both the probabilities we are finding. For finding the probability of this first event, there is no condition. That is what event which is happening first. So for first event there is no condition, but for happening of second event, we have to consider that first event has already occurred. Then only we will get second ball drawn is black. Okay, so considering that first event has already occurred, what is the probability of second event? Okay, now we will write the probabilities. Here, what is the probability of E? Okay, getting a black ball in the first draw. How many black balls are there? Total 6 black balls are there. Out of how many? 10. Okay, total we have 10 balls. So what will be the probability of E? It is a denominator. From 10 balls we are drawing 1 ball, so it is 10C1. Numerator, how many are in favor? From 6 balls we are drawing 1 ball, so it is 6C1. So 6 by 10, we will simplify later. So probability of drawing first ball is black, it is 6 by 10. Next, now we need the probability of drawing second one as red. Now are we finding a probability of F directly? We are not finding probability of F directly. What we are finding is, we are finding the probability of F given that E has already occurred. So we have to consider that E has occurred. Without considering that, we cannot find the probability of F directly. Okay, so now probability of drawing second ball is black, knowing that first ball drawn is black. We are interested in finding the probability of drawing the second ball as black, knowing that first ball drawn is black, denoted by, how do we denote it? Probability of second ball drawn is black, it is the event F, knowing that means given that the first event is already occurred. Okay, so how can it P of F given E now? Probability of F given E. Now one ball is already drawn. Okay, we are not replacing it. So one ball is already drawn means, now for the second draw, how many balls are remaining here? Total 9 is remaining. Okay, one black ball is already drawn, so remaining is 9 balls. In that 9 balls, how many are black? Only 5 are black. Okay, so denoted by P of E given E. Now remaining balls are from the bag. We have 4 red balls and only 5 black balls are there. Understanding? So once we draw the first ball, now remaining balls are like this, 4 red and 5 black balls. So here, how can I write P of F given E? Knowing that first ball drawn is black, what is the probability of drawing the second one also black? Second one also black means, how many total? 9 are there. From that we are taking 1 ball. Okay, total number of cases is selecting 1 ball from the 9 balls. It is 9C1. What about numerator? How many are in favor to getting black balls? 5 are there. In that you select any one. It is 5C1. So which is 5 by 9. Okay, so probability of first ball drawn is black. This is the probability of second ball drawn is black, knowing that first ball is a black. So it is 5 by 9. Now once we know this 2, so by multiplication theorem, how can you write now? Note down. By multiplication theorem, what is probability of E intersection F we can write? This is what we require, probability of E intersection F. From multiplication theorem, it can be written as probability of occurrence of first event and probability of occurrence of second event, knowing that first event has already occurred. So it is P of E is known 6 by 10 into P of F given E, it is 5 by 9. So 5 we can cancel 2 times, 2 3s are 3. So answer is 1 by 3. Understanding? So probability of the occurrence of both the balls drawn is black. It is 1 by 3. Understanding? So here we are finding the occurrence of two events. Okay, first one should be black and also second one should be black. There is no condition on first event, but there is some condition on second event, knowing that first event has already occurred. Okay. Now the next question arises, what if we are having more than two events? Okay, if we have two events, the occurrence of both the events A and B we are finding. Suppose if there are three events, now what is the occurrence of all the three events? Suppose we take A, B, C. What is the occurrence of all the three events A, B and C means it is probability of A intersection B intersection C. So how do we write that? Probability of occurrence of all the three events A, B and C. Let A, B and C be any three events associated with the sample space S of a random experiment. Okay, so we are interested in finding the simultaneous occurrence of all the three events. Simultaneous occurrence of all the three events means A should happen, B should occur and also C should occur. Okay, so probability of A intersection B intersection C. Okay, so occurrence of all three events denoted by A intersection B intersection C. Okay, all the three events are occurring A, B and C. So by multiplication theorem, we can write P of A intersection B intersection C as, observe how can we write this. So if you take two events, we are writing P of A intersection B. Occurrence of both the events means first one event should occur, then another event by knowing that first event has already occurred. So we are writing it as probability of occurrence of one event into probability of occurrence of second event, knowing that first event has already occurred. Or we can write it as probability of occurrence of B first, next occurrence of A, knowing that B has already occurred. So probability of occurrence of A knowing that B has already occurred. Both are same only. Okay. So first we find A, then find B knowing that A has happened, or first find probability of B, then find probability of A knowing that B has already occurred. So this is in 2 events. Now same we can apply in 3 events also. So first one event should occur. Okay, 3 events are occurring means first one event should occur, then second event should occur knowing that first event has already occurred, and then third event should occur knowing that first 2 are already occurred. Okay, so like this we can write. First we find probability of occurrence of one of the event. Suppose I take A. So it is probability of occurrence of event A, then probability of occurrence of second event, that is B. Simply we cannot write P of B because here already event A has occurred. So probability of B given A we have to write probability of B given A because event A has already occurred. So how many events occurred now? 2 events. A has occurred and then B has occurred knowing that event A has already occurred. Now 2 events have occurred. Now we are interested in probability of third event also. Third event should also occur into probability of the third event C by knowing that given that which events have already occurred here, A and B both have already occurred. Now both A and B have already occurred means it is A intersection B, right? So occurrence of one event A into probability of occurrence of second event knowing that first event has occurred, and then probability of occurrence of third event knowing that first 2 have already occurred. Okay. Now the same we can extend for any number of events. If I am interested in finding a probability of occurrence of 4 events A, B, C, D, so there what we do? First we write probability of occurrence of one event P of A, then occurrence of second event P of B given A, then occurrence of third event knowing that first 2 have occurred P of C given A intersection B, then occurrence of fourth event, how do we write it? P of D given that first 3 have already occurred A intersection B intersection C. Okay, last term is P of D given A intersection B intersection C. So like this we can extend to any number of events. Okay, so successively we write occurrence of one event, occurrence of second event knowing that first has happened, then occurrence of third event knowing that first 2 have already occurred. So we have to consider that these have occurred. If we don't consider this, then the answer will be wrong. Okay, knowing that some previous events have occurred, what is the probability of occurrence of the third event? So like this we can extend it to any number of events, right? Proof not required, just we read the theorem. For 2 events already we have seen, same we are extending to any number of events. Now we will see the example based on this. If we have 3 events, let the example. Three cards are drawn. Three cards are drawn, one after the other, without replacement. Three cards are drawn, one after the other, without replacement from a pack of 52 playing cards. We are drawing 3 cards from a pack of 52 playing cards, one after the other without replacement. Find the probability that first 2 cards drawn are ace cards. First two cards drawn are ace cards, and third is queen card. So this is the question. We are drawing 3 balls from pack of 52 playing cards. So all of you should have good knowledge about playing cards. Okay, if you don't have, play some cards. Okay, then we'll get knowledge about this cards. Okay, so it is required here. We should know how many cards are there. Okay, what is the color of the cards. Okay, we are having total 52 cards. In that 26 are red cards and 26 are black cards. Now these 26, okay, we are dividing into 4 denominations. One is diamond, like this. Another is hearts. Next spade. Then club card. So these are called denominations. Okay, this is diamond, hearts, spade, and club cards. Now in each denomination there are 13 cards. Okay, numbered from 2, 3, 4 up to 10, J, Q, K, A. Same here, 2, 3 up to 10, then J, Q, K, A. Same here also. Now these two, spade and club, these are black cards, and these two are red cards. So total there are 26 red cards and 26 black cards. How many diamond cards are there? 13. Hearts cards are 13, spade cards are 13, club cards are 13, like this. Okay, so here there will be 4 ace cards, 4 king cards, 4 queen cards, 4 jack cards. So any number we take, it will be 4 times. Okay, now in this from this total 52 cards, now we are drawing 3 cards, one after the other without replacement. First we are taking 1 card without replacing, we are taking another card from this, then again without replacing, we are taking third card from this. So when we are drawing without replacement, first when we are drawing 1 card, how many are there total? 52 are there. Now once we are drawn 1 card, and when we are drawing the second card, how many cards are there? There are only 51 cards, because first card is already drawn, we are not replacing back. So there will be 51 cards when we are drawing the second card. Now after drawing second card, how many are remaining? Out of 52, 2 cards are already drawn, so remaining will be 50. Now from that 50 cards, we are drawing a third card. Okay, so whatever the card we are drawing, it is affecting the remaining cards for the second event. So that's why we have to consider that first event is already occurred, what is the probability of next events. Okay, so 3 cards are drawn. In that what is the probability that 2 cards are ace cards, first 2 are ace. Okay, we want to find a probability that first 2 cards are ace cards and the third card is a queen card. So first we should know that how many ace cards are there? 4 ace cards are there. And how many queen cards are there? 4 queen cards are there. Okay, now which theorem you have to apply here? You have to apply multiplication principle again. Here how many events have occurred? 3 events have occurred. One event is drawing the first one is ace, another event is drawing the second card as ace, then third event is getting the third card as queen. So let us define that 3 events first. Experiment is drawing 3 cards from pack of 52 cards. Now how we are drawing, that is already mentioned, one by one without a replacement. Let us define the events. Okay, suppose I take A is the event. First 2 are ace cards. Okay, so let us take first one is ace. A is the event. Drawing an ace card. In first draw. Next, B is the event. Drawing an ace card in second draw. And C is the event. Drawing a queen card in third draw. So all these three events should occur. Now all the three events should occur means A intersection B intersection C. That is what we need. We require probability of A intersection B intersection C. This is what we require. Okay. So here, what is the probability of occurrence of A? For the first event there is no condition. Okay. First we are drawing one card under no condition. So what is the probability that it is a ace card? How many aces are there? So at the starting there are total 52 cards. From that 52 cards we are drawing one card. So denominator is total number of cases 52C1. In that what is the chance that it is an ace card? How many ace cards are there? 4. So it is 4C1 divided by 52C1. It is 4 by 52. Next, after we have drawn one card, now what are the remaining cards? Now there are 51 cards remaining after first draw. Understanding, no? One card is already drawn. Now one card is already drawn means for second draw how many are remaining? There are 51 cards. In that 51 cards, what are that cards? How many are ace cards? In that 51 there are only 3 ace cards because one ace card is already drawn here. Okay. So now what is the probability of second card? Second card is ace. Given that first card drawn is an ace. Okay. Probability of the second card drawn is an ace card, given that first card drawn is ace. Already we know that the first card drawn is ace. We know that. Using that or knowing that we are finding the probability of drawing the second one as ace card. Okay. So how do we denote it? It is denoted by P of B given A. So how do we write probability of B given A? Probability of B given A. Okay. Second card is ace. Now for second card, how many are total? Total there are 51 cards. In that we are selecting one. Okay. So drawing card is nothing but a selection of card. So total is 51C1. In that how many are ace cards now? One card is already drawn. Now remaining are 3 ace cards. In that 3 we are drawing one now. So it is 3C1. So it is 3 by 51. Simplification you can do later. So P of B given it is 3 by 51. Now two events have occurred. Now we need all the 3 events. Now after drawing 2 cards, what are remaining? Now remaining cards are 50 because 2 cards already drawn. Now for the third event, what is the probability of occurrence of third event? That is third card as a queen card. Probability of getting a third card as queen, knowing that first two are ace cards denoted by P of, we want a third card as queen, knowing that first two cards are aces. So we need the probability of C, given that first two have already occurred, that is C given A in section B. So for getting a third card as queen, now there are total remaining 50 cards. In that we are selecting one card. Okay, 50 C1. What is the numerator? We need queen cards. How many queen cards are there? We have drawn two ace cards. Okay, there is no condition on queen cards. So 4 queen cards are still remaining. Okay, so from that we are drawing one card. So it is 4 C1. Understand? Queen cards are there 4 only. We have not drawn any queen cards. We have drawn two ace cards. So there are 4 queen cards. We are interested in drawing one card. So it is 4 C1 divided by 50 C1, which is 4 by 50. Okay. So we are drawing first card is ace, which is probability 4 by 52. Second card is ace, knowing that first one is ace, probability is 3 by 51. Next probability of third card is queen, knowing that first two are ace, so it is probability 4 by 50. Okay. So now what we require? Note down. So we require probability of A intersection B intersection C. So that we can write by multiplication theorem. By multiplication theorem on probability. Probability of A intersection B intersection C can be written as probability of A into probability of B given A, probability of C given A intersection B. So first probability is 4 by 52 into second one is 3 by 51 into 4 by 50. Can multiply and simplify. So it is 1 by 13, 1 by 17, 2 by 25. Okay. Can multiply and simplify. Understand? So we are applying multiplication theorem for finding the probability of occurrence of all the 3 events, first, second and third. Okay. So whenever we are finding the probability of second event, we have to consider that first event has occurred, and when we are finding the probability of third event, we have to consider that first two events have already occurred. So we are applying this conditional probability here for finding a multiplication theorem. Okay. Right. So we will stop here, go through the theory related to multiplication theorem on probability. So next class we will start the next topic, which is independent events. Okay. So that is also derived by using multiplication theorem and conditional probability. Okay. Thank you.